Anap sounds much better.
No, I don't think so.
Kelinci sounds like it sounds like a LRT station.
Can you
very,
imagine?
Very
you
different.
just call like your friends' kids like, budak, then they'll be like so offended. Are you calling my kids like slave?
Okay.
The mom was like, do you want to eat dinner? Asking me like, do you want to eat dinner together? I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like back in my mind, it's like, okay, then I mean like I'll just do the helping out, preparing, and then like washing the dish. Then she took out all the ingredients from the fridge, and then after that she just put there. Then she said that, okay lah, you cook lah.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Married to Malaysians, a podcast that explores the relationship between international couples residing here in Malaysia. We actually want this podcast to be this space in which international couples married to Malaysians could share about their experiences, their journey, their decisions, and we actually in this entire podcast was inspired by our marriage. Me, I'm Ruben, I'm the Malaysian, and this is Evan, my wife.
Hi, my name is Evan, and we've been married for 2.25 years to be specific. And today we're gonna talk about the difference of our traditions.
Cultural differences, maybe.
Yeah.
But different cultural differences between Malaysians and Indonesians.
Yep.
Well, to give a little bit of context, I think Malaysians and Indonesians, geographically speaking, we're not that far apart, right? And linguistically speaking, you could say that there's a lot of similarities. I would say the main difference, this is a little bit spicy, the main difference is that we were just conquered by different people. Colonized by different people, right?
Yeah. I think for Indonesian, we were colonized by Dutch for almost 3 decades. Oh, 3 decades.
No, 3 centuries, right?
300 years.
Yeah, 300 years. And for us, I think we had different people over the years, but predominantly was the British that actually colonized us for most of the time. But yeah, enough about the dark past and dark histories of our countries. Why don't you share a little bit? What do you think are the major cultural differences between the both of our countries?
I won't say major, but something that I think like very interesting is actually language. Even though like Indonesian and Malaysian, we actually share the same base, which is like Melayu, but a lot of like certain language, certain words actually means difference.
When we say boleh, you say
Bisa.
And when you say
like rabbit, kelinci.
Yeah, we say Arnab. Arnab sounds much better.
No, I don't think so.
Kelinci sounds like it sounds like a LRT station.
Kelinci sounds cuter, right?
No, I don't agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of different linguistic differences that we have, and yeah, I think sometimes it's quite funny because I would be listening to her and her family talk, and then suddenly I'll be like, wait, what do you say? And then I think same thing with you as well, right? Sometimes you hear me. Well, I do not speak that much BM, but yeah, when you do hear me try to speak BM, then sometimes you hear like differences. What do you think are the major, like the most complicated one? I think that day we had a conversation with our friends, right? And then like there was something about like
Merayu, is it?
Yeah. What's that? Give us some background.
Can you give like the whole sentence was first for the Merayu?
Oh, sorry, I can't do that.
So
okay,
explain? I think it's something like if let's say you are trying to plea for something, and then the BM way here call Merayu, but then I laugh at that moment because like I said Merayu is like actually like flirt. You're gonna flirt to like an officer or like to get like some plea or like
yeah. So I think that one word actually made it quite a very interesting conversation. So yeah, Merayu is quite an interesting word that has changed over the distance between our countries.
Yeah.
But yeah, can you think of anything other like a very interesting one?
Like kids for Malaysian. What do you call it?
Anak.
Anak, not budak meh?
Oh, budak also can. What do you all call it?
Anak, but then budak means slave for Indonesian.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
very different, right? Can you
Very,
imagine?
very
you
different.
just call like your friends' kids like budak, then they'll be like so offended. Are you calling my kids like slave?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we remember if you go to Indonesia, don't call any kids budak. Okay.
And then I have one more. Free.
Uh-huh.
You call it
Percuma.
We call it gratis. And percuma means like useless in Indonesia.
So our discounts are useless in Indonesia. Okay. But yeah, enough about linguistics. Why don't you carry on to other cultural differences that we have as well? So maybe since we are talking about married to Malaysians, why don't we share a little bit about the marriage cultural differences that we have? Yeah. Would you want to share any?
I think like probably the culture shock for Ruben is
Oh yes, definitely.
when he was asking for the like blessing marriage from my parents, they're actually asking for like this tradition called like sangjit in Indonesian. I'm Indonesian Chinese, by the way, so it's actually very common to have this like you send something to the female's family side, like items and those kind of things. But usually in Indonesian it's like another big celebration. Basically, it looks like a wedding,
Yeah, it's so elaborate, like sometimes they even have like a whole host of people coming over. There's a whole celebration for it. It feels like a pre-wedding to the wedding. And sometimes that meal is mostly sponsored by the bride's side, right? The celebration.
Yes, that's what I also learned. Something that I learned also. The expectation in Indonesia is like the big
the wedding itself.
The wedding reception, the main wedding reception will be paid by the groom side, and for that particular sangjit or like the engagement ceremony will be fully paid by the bride side. Yeah, but I mean like, you still need to give all the dowries lah.
Yeah,
basically.
of course. So I think maybe there's a historical part to it. Like maybe like the bride side is like, we want to celebrate our way too, and how can we do that? And okay, let's do the pre-wedding.
Yeah, I think like the old time is like a lot of time the bride side didn't get the chance to actually invite their guests on the main reception itself. So I think that's what they do. Like they find a way to like, how the bride side can also like include the guests, especially like their family's guests, like the parents' friends or family like that. So yeah, I think that's how they find a way to make it like, the balance lah.
Yeah. So I think the main difference between marriages here in Malaysia versus there in Indonesia is that in Malaysia, we kind of like share the load of the wedding, the weight of the wedding, because we are based in Klang Valley, we are based in KL. So sometimes the places are quite expensive, meals are quite expensive. So actually it's a shared thing, and we only have like maybe one celebration that is major, and then like smaller celebrations after that. Whereas in Indonesia, somehow they have multiple celebrations. Yeah, could you say that?
Like I think probably like the cost in Jakarta itself will be more expensive lah. So I think it's just the pressure as well. Yeah, especially like the Chinese in Jakarta, it's just like they just have to have somehow a big celebration. Yeah.
Wow. Well, good thing got married here in Malaysia and not in Jakarta or in Pekanbaru. Well, we did get married in Pekanbaru.
It depends on your spouse lah.
That's true. Thank you for being kind and understanding to my wallet. And now we're going to jump into our final section of Married to Malaysians podcast. And this is what I will call stirring the pot. And this is a section in which we want to actually ask the couples. In the future, we'll have other guests as well. But as of right now, I'm going to ask my wife a very controversial question, something to just stir the pot and because Malaysia is such a nice multicultural nation with many, which is such a big melting pot of cultures, right? So let's stir it a little bit. The question that we have picked for this particular episode was staying with the in-laws. Thoughts?
I think it's like nothing's wrong staying with your in-law. It's just that it depends on like the discussion between two of you. Like how do you find the balance, right? Because I particularly told Ruben that can we not stay with your parents? I think at least the first years of our marriage. And I think Ruben is kind enough to like accommodate on that part because I think I really want to enjoy my first years of marriage, right? So yeah. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, for a little bit of context, it's quite funny because we got married, I guess soon after we got together during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, actually, my family got everyone together. We bought a house, right? And during the pandemic, I was like planning my room, planning my layout of everything. And then we got serious, and then we got married, and then the house wasn't ready. And it's quite funny because the house got ready when we got married, and there was this, for me, it's like, oh no, there's this house, this room that I was planning and everything, and I couldn't get to stay there. And yeah, it was a discussion that we had. And once we got married, I think I respectfully understand. We know a lot of stories, horror stories of in-laws, and I didn't want my parents to be part of that journey, that story of that mess, right? So I thought, okay, let's listen to the wife. The first thing I should do is listen to the wife. And we actually stayed away for a year. We stayed somewhere else, and then we actually managed to stay with that room, that house that we were planning. That was for at least 8 months.
8 months. I mean, thank God that actually like Ruben's parents really understanding, and then we actually gel quite well during the 8 months staying together in the same roof. A side story. You have like 2 different households in the family, right? So I think it's the one of the funny story is the cooking part. So actually what happened is we don't really have like a very fixed schedule of like eating dinner or like whichever meal together. It's just that whoever that decided to like cook on that day usually will also ask like, oh, are you gonna stay for dinner? Do you wanna eat dinner together? Like we can cook for you, right? Kind of things, right? What happened usually if, let's say, if Ruben's mom cooking, then we'll also get to cook. So we'll do all the washing the dish or just helping out, and vice versa, right? If I'm cooking, that's what also like Ruben's parents got to eat with us as well. I think there's like this one particular day where like the mom was like, do you want to eat dinner? Asking me like, do you want to eat dinner together? I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like back in my mind, it's like, okay, then I mean like I'll just do the helping out, preparing, and then like washing the dish. Then she took out all the ingredients from the fridge, and then after that she just put there. Then she said that, okay lah, you cook lah. I was like,
surprise.
I was like, oh, I'm cooking? Wait, I don't even know your ingredients.
But to be fair, that's not what she does. That's how you know that you are welcome into the home already. Because that's what my mom does for all of us as well. Sometimes she just decides, okay, you know what? These are the things that's out of the fridge. You guys decide what to cook.
But I'm not particularly offended on that day because like I know that we've been having like this many like dinners together, and I think she just know that I actually enjoy cooking, so I actually don't mind taking the task. So and I think thank God also like Ruben's parents are not very picky with like food, so but I guess what we went through of like staying away for the first year, I think that really helps because that helps you to create your rules, create your boundaries as a couple first and foremost before you include other people into that circle. So I think that really helped us at the beginning to establish ground rules, establish SOS protocol, establish like different things that will help us to communicate better in the future as well. If we had like other people in the house or like other like in-laws and maybe even like extended family messing around with that, I think it would have taken us longer to get where we were as a couple. So that's all the time that we have for today's episode, and thank you so much for listening. If this was interesting to you, why don't you give it a follow, give it a subscription. We will be introducing more guests in the future. We are particularly interested in inviting mixed couples, multinational couples to this podcast so that we can even explore together what are the cultural differences, the different fun things that we have experienced here in Malaysia, and our entire experience of being married to, her experience of being married to Malaysians. And this has been Married to Malaysians. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.